For the next 100 days, I'll learn the ways of the ninja, hiding in plain sight, stealing, and working from the shadows. I'll have to delve into the criminal world, take on contracts, and go from rock bottom all the way to a legendary ninja. My objective is to assassinate the legendary samurai Shinji to make him pay for my brother's murder. Here we go. I spent 100 days as a ninja in Bannerlord. Day 1. My journey began as a nobody, starting from scratch, looking for a teacher to learn the way of the shadows. That's when I met Sakujiro the Shark. He was the most powerful gang leader in town and could teach me a thing or two. In order to prove my skills to him, I had to complete a test, to go up and steal something from a merchant and get away with it. Nervous, I walked towards the trader. He asked me what I needed. I hesitated. I didn't know what to say. Then I just grabbed what I could and made a run for it. The merchant wanted to call the guards. I started looking around to see if anyone was coming after me, but it seemed the coast was clear. Without looking back, I managed to get away, improving my relationship with the shark and learning some skills. Now, I needed to wait 48 hours before taking on the next trial. Meanwhile, there were a wide variety of illicit activities to do, but I wasn't able to do any of them at the moment. I needed to have a better relationship with Sakujiro, so I asked him if he needed any help. There was a rival gang controlling some alleys. I offered myself to confront them, but things didn't go well. I didn't stand a chance. I had to take multiple days of rest to heal my wounds. Back to my teacher, it was time for my next test, to pick some pockets without being seen. This was more up my alley. I moved swiftly through the town, looking for any unsuspecting victims. It seemed an easy task at first, but I started to fail, one time after the other. I needed to focus. I chose isolated targets, people walking alone. Trying to be quick and calm at the same time, I kept on the move. I did it. I finished the mission, pushing my skills further. Back with the gang leader, I learned about something called the pit fights. He said I could join if I won a brawl at the tavern. This could be a good way to practice my fighting skills, in case I get spotted out in the field. I decided to go forward and headed to the tavern. The place was packed. I needed to choose the right person. I approached the man and told him I didn't like his face. The job was done. Doing all of these things increased my criminal rating and my relationship with the gang leader too. Thanks to this, I seem to have unlocked a new job called Force Tribute. We'll take a look into this soon. But first, I want to talk to the shark. He accepted me in, and so my pit fighter career began. My current tier was Maggot. I could win fame in the fights. This was needed to advance into better tiers and getting bigger paychecks. Next fight was planned for this evening, so I waited until the night to join. When the time was ready, I was able to choose the type of fight, hand-to-hand or weapons only. I began with an unarmed duel. If I wanted to win with my poor skills, I needed to focus on my positioning, tactics, and knowing when to strike. It actually reminded me of a game I've been playing recently, where you have to place each unit precisely, manage deployment costs, and focus on your strategy, all during real-time battles. Watcher of Realms, it's not the usual turn-based combat RPG. There's multiple game modes. In PvE, you can fight bosses and earn rewards, but also you can join other players and fight against guilds in GVG battles, where you have to defend your stronghold and attack enemy bases. The new addition, the Tactician class, adds a new layer of strategy. Their ultimates let you reposition them in real time, unleashing attacks, blocking damage, or intercepting hits. Moradon and Volara are the new knight heroes from this faction. They come with unique battle mechanics and bond skills. When unleashing their ultimates, they can instantly reposition to buff allies, reduce enemies' magic resistance and defense, and knock them back. During the second anniversary celebration, you can join multiple in-game activities and log in daily to earn 119 summons and rewards for free. You can also take in a variety of fun minigames and events to earn even more in-game rewards. Click the link in the description and scan the QR code on screen to download the game for free now on PC, Android, and iOS. The first punch already sent me to the ground. but I couldn't surrender for my brother's memory. Next was 4 in a row. This time, I was the one sending people to the ground. I took down the first guy, then the second one, but by the third, I was exhausted. One mistake and it was over. I was getting better, but still not good enough. I didn't stop there. A 3v3. It was fast, messy, brutal, but I managed to down 2 of them and survived till the end. Last fight, 5v5. It was utter chaos. It was hard to distinguish friend from foe. Bodies going down. I tried hitting people on the back while they were not looking, focusing on their weak spots. I knocked down 2 more again and made it through alive. Having finished all the fights for the day, my relationship with the leader increased once more. I rested after this to heal my wounds. With the money that I got from the fights, I was able to buy a new blade and a head wrap. It was time for a new job. The objective was to collect some funds, but I was met with some brutal mercenaries. We lost, and the guards threw me to the dungeons, but not for long. I was able to escape captivity and rested once again. My skills fighting head-on were laughable. I needed to become one with the shadows. After healing my wounds, I visited the shark again. This time, I had to take care of a guard for him. It needed to be discreet and after dark. I infiltrated the town as a pilgrim. First place I checked was a tavern. I saw a guard, but the place was full of witnesses. I couldn't strike now. If I drew my weapon, guards would attack me on sight. The top right bar was the detection meter. I had to avoid attention at all costs. Then I saw the perfect target. My skills were improving. With this, I unlocked a new job, robbery. A gang leader had a friend that needed support. I had to meet my contact at the tavern district in Odani, so I bought a horse for the trip and headed out. On the way, I stopped by local villages, running some scams to make some coin, get food, and improve my roguery skills, one village after the other, until I arrived at Odani, where I finally met my contact. He gave me a peasant outfit. I would have to pretend to deliver food to the kitchen and sneak into the keep. Apparently, some guards were spotted in the Lord's Hall. My contact asked me for an additional 2,000 dinars on the spot to clear the place out with a diversion. I didn't have that kind of money, so I refused. I managed to reach the Lord's Hall, but as expected, the place was not empty. I was trapped, unarmed, with only rocks in my hand. 3 armed men came to me and I had nowhere to go. I was annihilated. My attempt was a complete failure. I was beaten within an inch of my life and kicked out of town. My criminal rating went up and I was back to 0 dinars, nothing, and on the verge of death. I waited in the closest village to heal my wounds. At least here they didn't know about my deeds. Once back on my feet, I got jumped by a band of looters, 5-on-1. I tried to lose their track by hitting behind some rocks, but it was plain daytime. They saw me. They took me captive for a short while, but let me go soon after since I wasn't of much value to them. Once more, this was the consequence of fighting head-on. I was unable to stand my ground. I tended to my wounds. Back to town, I used the money that I got from my paycheck and visited the nearby temple. Here, I could find people that shared my ideals, my beliefs, and with the right training, could grow into specialized units. We could make our own group. What I lacked in raw strength, I would compensate with numbers. Back with Sakujuro, I got my second assassination contract, another guard. I felt ready to do this. I looked around for my target, waiting for the right moment. Mission was fulfilled, but at the cost of my freedom. I was sent to the dungeons for days this time. I was careless. After painful days of being imprisoned, I broke free and managed to escape. Things now were on a whole different level. I was a fugitive, a wanted man. I was no longer allowed inside of the town. But this wasn't all. Things were about to get worse. Shinji himself, the man who killed my brother, found me. He was right in front of me, demanding me to surrender. I don't even think he remembered my brother or me. There was no point in fighting. They were 77 and I was still injured. I was taken captive by him and he threw me back to the dungeons. A fire burned inside me. I didn't care how many stood in my way. Shinji was still out there. This wasn't the end of it. I managed to break free again. Riding far away from the city, I didn't stop until I was out of the clan's reach. Had to rest in the village because of my wounds, but I couldn't sit idle. Whole armies were after me, chasing me relentlessly. At one point, I reached the temple, where I managed to find some people to join me. I needed as much help as I could get. I remained on the move, riding far away along the coasts, trying not to get caught and reorganize my plan of action. That's when I stumbled upon a bandit hideout. If I built my relationship with them, I could build a safe house here, a base of my own, and get some more people to join my cause. Just as I was leaving the place, I came across a huge band of raiders. I told them I didn't want any trouble, that I wanted to join forces. Doing so made me be at war with the closest clan in the region. But now, I was no longer an enemy to the pirates. There was a lot of work ahead. These bandits didn't have much strength as a group. They were too weak, so I couldn't recruit any of them. So I went back to the hideout and took 15 men with me. I needed to increase their strength and improve our relationship to be able to set up my base here. So we started scamming the nearby villages, even the city of Osaka. I talked with the local gang leader for a job, doing some pickpocketing, relieving all those people from their purses and coins. We also attacked vulnerable targets, traveling from one village to another. We weren't many, so we had to be cunning and precise. Things were going good, until we jumped on a second group of villagers. This one was surprisingly tough. I even fell in battle, but my men kept fighting after me. We had each other's backs. After the battle, I traveled back to the hideout and donated all the loot to the pirates, increasing their strength and improving my relationship bit by bit. I was heavily wounded from the last battle, so I rested for a while. Then we scammed, picked some pockets, till a rival gang crossed our paths. We attacked them, demolished them. Doing all of these illicit activities didn't come for free. At one point, I got blackmailed by the Asakura. I had to pay 275 dinars for this. If I keep targeting the same clan, they can earn grudges against me. After taking down another group of rival looters, I found their hideout. We waited until nightfall to attack. We defeated the whole camp, thanks to my brothers. We also got new recruits and prisoners, but most importantly, tons of loot. The survivors tried to run away, but we made sure to not leave anyone alive. Back to the pirate hideout, I donated everything, increasing their strength and gaining a point of relationship, plus some recruits. The hunt continued, fighting bandits and villagers, but we still had a ways to go. The last fight brought our numbers down to 5. We lost tons of men. I had to get some more back at the hideout. The ones who survived got promoted. And so, we attacked the villagers, getting more prisoners and donating everything to the pirates. Same thing with rival looters, rinse and repeat, until we hit the jackpot. After defeating a group of villagers, the loot was insane. Dozens of horses as our reward. Donating this to the pirates was enough to earn their favor and increase their strength immensely. They call me their great benefactor. I asked them for a safe and discreet place for me and my men. They said they got plenty. This was our safe house now. There were a lot of options. I could leave some of my lads here, assign them to guarding or banditry. Doing banditry would increase our income, but also risk wounding my men. I could also assign a member to be the enforcer, but I needed a companion first, with good skill in roguery and tactics. There was a lot more here. Partnerships, territories, even a stash. The safe house was level 1. I needed to go up to level 3. I needed to assign prisoners to serve if I wanted to level it up. I took a good look at the place. This was our home, a place no one would find us, chase us. Here, we would build something and grow stronger, not on the run. The perfect place to prepare my revenge on Shinji. To do this, we needed money. One way was to use the closest villages to our advantage. We headed to Hyogo and forced them to give us recruits, but they refused. Violence was necessary. Winning provided us with prisoners. Back at the safe house, I put them to work, specifically mining. This would give us a profit of over 1,600 coins daily. Insane. I sold some of my loot in the black market, since going to a city nearby wasn't possible, being a wanted criminal and all. Next village gave us some gold, but not much. It wasn't enough, so we raided the place. And not only this one, but a second one after this too. The thing that was much more profitable though were caravans, and we hit our first one right after. But good loot meant armed guards, and these ones had firearms, guns. Nonetheless, they didn't survive. We plundered their gold and possessions. Back at the safe house, I realized all of my lads were wounded. That happened because I assigned them all to banditry. Also, had no prisoners alive. They seemed to have passed away while mining. I assigned 2 more, but this time to serving, so they could heal the injured lads. We waited for some time to take care of our injuries. Shortly after, we came across a lord on the run, Veso Yoshichika. There were only 21 units on their side, and we were 23. We attacked. My archers were key in this fight. I ordered them in position to take down their men slowly, forcing them to march forward. I sent the pirates to attack, and we destroyed them all. The last one to fall was their lord. He fell from his horse to the ground, unconscious. I watched him, picturing Shinji and his demise. The lord asked for mercy, but my brother was shown none. We took him as prisoner. Returning to the safe house, I put 2 more workers to serve. I had different plans for the lord. We would show no mercy. We continued looting, growing stronger. Next caravan we came across was big. We were heavily outnumbered, but we wouldn't back down from a challenge. I focused on strategy. The fight caught us in disadvantageous terrain, so I ordered my units to move all around, up the hill, getting close enough so my archers would do some good damage. I even told them to make a loose formation, so their arrows would have a harder time getting to us. Then the enemy charged, but that's when they lost. We destroyed them and won the battle. We earned 8 prisoners from this, and tons of loot. After taking the prisoners to the safe house, I got more recruits. By now, I was able to have 48 units with me. Thanks to my higher roguery skills, I was able to sneak into the city of Osaka, disguised in the garments of a poor pilgrim. I blended myself as a commoner, looking out for the guards. The reason why I was here? Information. I asked around the tavern for people with specific skills, someone who knew a bit about the darker side of the world, but there was nothing. I needed to keep looking out there. Next city was Kyoto. I equipped some better armor before selling the rest for over 16,000 dinars. Unfortunately, this tavern keeper also had no info. This wasn't as simple as I thought. We raided a nearby village on the way. For this battle, all of my units were melee, no bows. This put us at a disadvantage, so I sent my men to take cover between the buildings, waiting until the villagers were exposed. Then I sent the order. We attacked them right on the corner, decimated them. winning the encounter. With a new prisoner, promoted units, and all the loot sold, we were good. Money was good, and my roguery skills were better. And that wasn't all. In the next tavern I went to, I met with Kintaro, the Grey Falcon. He was the best fighter in his village. Apparently he had left the army to become a mercenary. I could use someone like him in my company. I paid around 5,000 coins for his services. Checking out his skills, the man was pretty good with the bow and one-handed weapons, but really bad at roguery. I will find someone else for that later. After another battle, it was time to go all in with the plan. On my way to Ichihodani, I got whole armies after me, hundreds of them, but I managed to arrive and call some lads to get me in. I was back, stronger. Talking with Sakujuro, I needed to win his favor. This time, the mission was not to take one guard, but 4. Before doing so, I needed to collect some funds for him. Relationship improved. I bought some better blades before beginning the assassination, both for me and for Kintaro. Guards would attack me on sight. Next mission was to go to the village of Misouchi and take their goods, which we did with no problems. After this, we were disorganized, slower, and we got caught by a lord and his army. We wouldn't stand a chance in a direct fight, but money talks, and by paying a bribe, we were able to walk free this time. Back to Ichihodani, local authorities had intensified the town watch level, not allowing citizens to go in or out. I had to wait 9 days until things went back to normal. For the time being, I recruited some people at the nearby temple, and most importantly, got a perk called Forest Kin. 50% less travel speed penalty from forests. This was huge to be able to run away. I spent the time attacking nearby villages, even a rival hideout. I sold the loot, waiting for the right time to come back and finish it all. Finally, days later, I managed to return inside the city thanks to my lads. The whole army was outside looking for me. Inside the tavern, I hired my second companion and bought equipment for him too. Now, it was time to send the message. I went around town looking for rancid show-based thugs. Clear the alley. Now I could take over, but I didn't have a suitable clan member. They needed to be good at roguery and have no mercy. Another problem was, once again, the local authorities intensified the town's watch. I had to wait 10 more days. I took advantage of this and traveled, looking for a suitable companion. I galloped all the way to Kyoto, where I recruited Tsukeshiro the robber. Then, at Himeji, I hired Jineman the silent. Returning to the safe house, I realized all my prisoners had died, and all my 39 lads were wounded. I assigned a new companion as the enforcer. It would be the key role for the scheme room, but I needed to be a tier 2 clan or higher to set up one, and we were only tier 1. Only thing that remained was to wait and keep growing our reputation and our money. Time was closing in. We were on our way back until we came across battlefield remains. The bodies were all over the place, piled up, and the loot was up for the taking. I quickly grabbed anything I could, searching every single pile. Even my men helped me do so, but we weren't the only ones who had the same idea. Other looters tried to attack us, but nonetheless, we crushed them. Once we took anything of value, we ran away, finally arriving at Ichichodani. Once again, I killed some thugs, taking the alley for myself. I assigned one of my companions, alongside my best man, to take care of it. Now, I was ready. It was time to do what I had to do.